This video is about the tailor was humiliated until a billionaire gave her a fortune. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of a bustling city, where glimmering skyscrapers loomed over the cobblestone streets, there was a small tailor shop named Stitches of Hope. For years, this unassuming little storefront had been a sanctuary for those seeking solace in clothing, mending both fabric and spirits. Its owner, Clara Thompson, was a woman whose hands were as skilled in needlework as her heart was in empathy. Clara had inherited the shop from her mother, who had instilled in her the belief that every stitch carried the dreams of the person wearing it. With each garment she crafted, she poured her heart into the fabric, transforming the mundane into the extraordinary. Yet, despite her talent, Clara struggled to keep the business afloat. Rent was rising, and her clientele dwindled. The world around was changing, and so were the needs of its people. One autumn afternoon, Clara was busy sewing a wedding dress when the doorbell jingled. In walked a young woman, Anna, her eyes brimming with hope. "Can you help me? I have an interview next week, and I need something special," she said, her voice trembling with anticipation. "Of course, what are you thinking?" Clara asked, smiling warmly. "I've always dreamed of wearing a tailored outfit that would give me confidence," Anna replied. "But I've never been able to afford it." Clara's heart ached at the mention of money. "Let us see what we can do," she said, her mind racing with ideas. After some deliberation, they decided on a sleek, navy blue blazer paired with a crisp white blouse. It was simple yet elegant. As Clara worked on the pieces, she took extra care, treating them as if they belonged to her. Each evening, she would close the shop late, her fingers deftly stitching while her mind drifted to her own dreams, a hope that someday her little shop would flourish and thrive. However, as the days passed, Clara faced mounting challenges. The bills piled up, and she could no longer afford to purchase quality fabric. One fateful morning, she received a notice that the rent would increase yet again. Panic set in. "What will I do?" she murmured to herself, wiping away the tears that threatened to spill. One day, an unexpected visitor entered her shop. His presence was imposing, a stark contrast to the cozy atmosphere of Stitches of Hope. He was tall, with sharp features that hinted at a life of privilege. "I am here to speak to the owner," he announced, his voice rich and commanding. Clara straightened her posture, gathering her courage. "That would be me. How can I help you?" "I am James Montgomery," he said, extending a hand. "I've heard about your work. I want to commission a suit for a charity gala. Money is no object." Clara felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. "Of course, I'd love to create something unique for you." As they discussed fabric, colors, and styles, Clara felt the weight of her worries lift slightly. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to dream of the possibilities this commission could bring. James admired her passion, his eyes lighting up as she spoke about her craft. Yet the day of the fitting approached, and Clara's anxiety mounted. Her hands trembled as she made the final adjustments. She wanted everything to be perfect. But as James slipped into the suit, she noticed something unsettling in his expression. He frowned, his brow furrowing. "This is what I asked for?" he asked, disappointment lacing his tone. Clara's heart sank. "I thought it would be more." "More what?" Clara asked, stung by his words. She couldn't help but feel the humiliation creep in, a familiar shadow that clouded his spirit. "More luxurious, more extravagant. This is just too plain," he said dismissively, turning away. "I should have gone to a high-end designer." Clara felt the heat rise to her cheeks. "But I infused my heart and soul into this," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. "Heart and soul don't pay the bills," he retorted coldly before striding out of the shop, leaving Clara feeling small and rejected. The door swung shut behind him, and Clara stood there, frozen. The fabric of dreams she had stitched together now felt like a shroud of despair. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she sank to the floor, the weight of her humiliation pressing down on her like a heavy coat. Days turned into weeks. Clara struggled to shake off the sting of James's words. The shop felt emptier, and the once vibrant threads of hope seemed to fade. She poured her anguish into her work, but each stitch felt heavier than the last. One rainy evening, Clara sat alone at her old wooden table, surrounded by remnants of forgotten dreams. She picked up a piece of fabric, feeling its texture beneath her fingers. "What do I have to lose?" she whispered, recalling the way her mother had always encouraged her to chase her dreams, no matter the obstacles. With a newfound determination, Clara made a decision. She would not let one negative experience define her. Instead, she would channel her pain into something beautiful. She began sketching designs bold, vibrant, and expressive. Each stroke of her pencil became an act of defiance against the shadows that threatened to consume her. As the days turned into nights, Clara worked tirelessly, pouring every ounce of her resilience into her creations. She introduced a new line of clothing to her shop, inspired by the very struggles and emotions she had faced. Stitches of Hope transformed into a beacon for those who felt lost, a place where dreams could be mended and brought back to life. Word began to spread about Clara's new collection. People from all walks of life came through her doors, drawn to the stories woven into every garment. Clara listened to their tales, their struggles, their triumphs, and she created pieces that celebrated their journeys. The shop once again buzzed with laughter and camaraderie. One evening, as Clara was closing up shop, the door swung open. A familiar figure stepped inside. It was James Montgomery, looking more vulnerable than she had ever seen him. "I owe you an apology," he began, his voice softer than she remembered. "I was wrong about the suit. It wasn't just the fabric, it was the heart behind it that mattered." Clara's heart raced, but she held her ground. "Your words hurt me, James, but I found my strength in that pain," she replied, her voice steady. "I see that now. Your work has a magic that I overlooked," he admitted, glancing around the transformed shop. "I'd like to commission more pieces, but this time I want to support your vision, not impose my own." Clara was taken aback. She studied him, recognizing the sincerity in his eyes. "If you truly want to support this shop, then let us collaborate and create something beautiful together. But this time, it has to be rooted in authenticity," she proposed, her heart swelling with hope. James nodded, a genuine smile breaking across his face. "A deal." In that moment, Clara realized the power of resilience. Life's trials may bend the spirit, but they never had to break it. As Clara and James began to work together, a new chapter unfolded, one filled with creativity, friendship, and mutual respect. The fabric of dreams was being stitched anew, and Clara was finally embracing the beauty of her own story. She smiled, knowing that even in the face of humiliation, she had found her way back to hope, lifted by the very strength that had always resided within her. In the heart of the city, where everything was changing, stitches of hope began to weave a narrative that spoke of resilience, kindness, and the undying spirit of humanity. It was a reminder that every challenge could lead to a beautiful beginning, and every ending could become a stepping stone towards a brighter future. As Clara and James dove into their collaborative efforts, the atmosphere at Stitches of Hope shifted dramatically. It wasn't just a workspace anymore, it was a creative forge, lighting up with ideas and inspiration. Together, they brainstormed designs that fused James's understanding of luxury with Clara's intimate knowledge of fabrics and the stories they told. "Let us start with the concept of transformation," James suggested one afternoon, sketching out ideas on a large sheet of paper. "What if we design a line symbolic of new beginnings? Each piece could tell a story of personal change." "I love that," Clara exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "What if we incorporated elements that represent different struggles? We could use colors that reflect hope, like vibrant yellows and greens." "Absolutely, and textures that evoke strength," James added, his own excitement growing. "Like a soft fabric against a woven one, symbolizing tenderness and resilience." As they worked side by side, Clara couldn't help but admire James's passion. It was as if the earlier encounter had peeled away layers of pretense, revealing a man who deeply cared about more than just appearances. Perhaps, she thought, he was as much a work in progress as the garments they were about to create. Weeks passed, and the shop buzzed with life. The new collection gained traction, drawing attention from local media and fashion enthusiasts. Clara felt a wave of energy flowing through her, pushing her to take risks she had never dared before. She began to host workshops on garment making, inviting the community to share their stories as they stitched. "Every stitch is a piece of your journey," Clara would tell her eager students, her heart swelling with pride. "Embrace it, let your fabric reflect who you are." One day, a shy young girl named Mia entered the shop with her mother. Clara could see the uncertainty in Mia's eyes, and her heart instantly went out to her. "Welcome, are you here to make something special?" Clara asked warmly. Mia nodded hesitantly. "I want to make a dress for my school dance, but I don't know if I am good enough," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "You are more than good enough," Clara reassured her. "Let us create something together that will make you shine, just like you are." With Clara's gentle guidance, Mia picked out a beautiful fabric embroidered with delicate flowers. As they worked side by side, Clara shared her own stories of fear and doubt, showing me that everyone faces challenges, even someone who seems to have it all together. "You can turn your fears into something beautiful," Clara encouraged. "Every stitch is a reminder of your strength." Mia's face brightened as she contributed ideas to the design. By the end of the workshop, she had created a stunning dress that encapsulated her spirit. "Thank you," Mia beamed, her self-doubt fading into confidence. "I can't wait to show everyone." As Mia left the shop, Clara turned to James, who had been quietly observing. "You realize how powerful this is, right?" she said, her voice full of emotion. "We not just sewing clothes, we sewing hope into people's lives." James nodded thoughtfully. "It is incredible to see how your work can touch hearts. That reminds me of why I wanted to support you in the first place." Just then, Clara's phone buzzed with an email notification. She opened it to find an invitation to participate in a major fashion show that showcased emerging designers. Her heart raced. "James, look at this," she exclaimed, her hands trembling with excitement. He leaned over her shoulder, his eyes widening. "This could change everything for you, Clara, but are you ready?" She hesitated for a moment, doubt creeping in. The thought of showcasing her work on such a prominent platform filled her with both thrill and fear. Then she remembered Mia's face, the way she had transformed before her eyes. I think I am ready," Clara finally said, determination shining through her uncertainty. With James as support, Clara poured herself into preparing for the fashion show. They labored late into the night, crafting garments that embodied resilience and hope. Each piece was a narrative, a testament to triumph over adversity. As the show date approached, Clara experienced waves of doubt. "What if no one likes it?" she confessed to James one evening as they sipped tea at the shop. James placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Clara, it is not just about others' opinions, it is about sharing your story, your vision. Stay true to yourself, and you'll shine." On the night of the show, Clara stood backstage, her heart pounding as she watched the audience filter into the venue. She could hear the buzz of anticipation, the whispers of fashion enthusiasts eager to witness something new. With each deep breath, she reminded herself of the journey she had stitched into her pieces. When it was her turn to present, Clara stepped into the spotlight, her creations flowing gracefully behind her. Applause erupted as the first model appeared, showcasing a gown that shimmered with colors symbolizing hope and renewal. Each subsequent model wore a piece imbued with stories of overcoming hardship, of embracing authenticity. As Clara watched, tears of joy filled her eyes. This was her moment, the culmination of her struggles and victories. As she took her final walk down the runway, the thunderous applause resonated in her heart like a symphony of acceptance. After the show, Clara was inundated with compliments and inquiries. She felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought her here. Among the crowd, she spotted Mia, beaming with pride, her mother standing by her side. With tears glistening in her eyes, Clara rushed over to them. "You did it!" Mia exclaimed, her voice full of excitement. "I knew you could." Clara knelt down, embracing Mia tightly. "Thank you, sweet girl. You inspired me just as much as I inspired you," she said, her heart swelling. James joined them, a proud smile on his face. "You were incredible, Clara. I am so proud of you." In that moment, Clara realized that her success was not solely defined by the applause or accolades. It was about the connections she had forged, the lives she had touched and inspired. As she looked around the room, she saw faces filled with hope, and she felt a profound sense of purpose wash over her. The weeks that followed brought newfound recognition and opportunities. Clara's designs were featured in magazines, and Stitches of Hope became a renowned name in the fashion community. Yet, amidst the newfound success, she remained grounded, driven by her desire to uplift others. She continued to host workshops, encouraging individuals to embrace their stories through the art of sewing. "We all have threads of resilience within us," she would tell her students, her heart brimming with passion. "Let us weave those threads into something beautiful." One sunny afternoon, as Clara stood at the entrance of her shop, she noticed a long line forming outside. Curious, she stepped outside to greet the crowd. It was filled with people, young and old, each carrying fabric swatches, eager to create something meaningful. "Welcome to Stitches of Hope," Clara called out, her heart swelling with joy. "Let us create together." As she welcomed each person into the shop, Clara felt the boundless energy of the human spirit surrounding her. It was a celebration of resilience, kindness, and the beauty of connection. She realized that no matter the challenges ahead, she had already stitched together a tapestry of hope that would guide her through anything. And so, in the heart of the bustling city, Stitches of Hope continued to thrive, a sanctuary of dreams woven into fabric, a testament to the incredible strength of the human spirit. Clara knew that life would always present struggles, but with each challenge came the opportunity to rise, to create, and to inspire. As the weeks passed, Clara's shop transformed from a humble tailor's haven into a vibrant community hub. The air buzzed with laughter and creativity. Each workshop filled the space with the sound of machines humming, conversations buzzing, and the joyful chatter of people coming together to share their journeys, one stitch at a time. One fateful afternoon, Clara noticed a familiar face in the crowd. James, her partner in creativity, was helping a young woman named Lily choose fabric for a dress. As he held up a delicate lilac chiffon, Clara could see the sparkle of enthusiasm in Lily's eyes. "You think this will make me feel as confident as I hope?" Lily asked, biting her lip with uncertainty. James flashed a warm smile. "Confidence starts from within, but I assure you, wearing something that resonates with your spirit helps tremendously." He turned to Clara. "What do you think, Clara?" Clara walked over, kneeling beside Lily to share in the moment. "Absolutely, this color represents tranquility, and the flow of the fabric will accentuate your movements. Let us create a design that embodies your confidence. What do you want to feel when you wear it?" Lily's eyes widened. "I want to feel like I can conquer the world. I am starting a new job, and I need something that says I am ready." Clara nodded, her heart swelling with pride. "Then we'll make a statement piece, something bold, to match your spirit." As they began sketching ideas, Clara felt the familiar warmth of purpose wash over her. The fabric of her dreams was being woven into the very fabric of her community, a community she had built on hope, resilience, and shared stories. Yet, even amidst this flourishing environment, Clara was aware of the reality of business. The rent had increased once again, and she could feel the weight of financial pressure beginning to creep back into her mind. Late one night, as she sat at her desk, she stared at the numbers in disbelief. "Why is always a struggle?" Clara whispered, her brow furrowed. The past months had been rejuvenating, but the fear of losing it all loomed like a dark cloud over her. Just then, the bell above the door jingled, breaking her reverie. Clara looked up to see James entering the shop, a stack of papers in hand. "I hope I am not interrupting," he said, glancing at the dimly lit shop. "Not at all, I was just about to head home," Clara replied, trying to mask her worry. James joined her at the table, placing the papers down. "I came to share the news about our collaboration with the charity gala. The team is thrilled with your designs. They want to showcase them at their annual fundraiser." Clara's heart leaped at the thought. This could be incredible, but... Her voice trailed off as the weight of her financial woes crept back in. "What is it?" James asked gently, sensing her hesitation. "I am afraid I can't keep up with the rent and supplies if this doesn't go as planned. I don't want to risk losing the shop," Clara confessed, her voice trembling. James studied her for a moment, a soft determination in his eyes. "Clara, you've built something extraordinary here. You have a community behind you. Let us reach out for support. Maybe we can create a campaign to fund the shop. We could use your story and the stories of those you've inspired." Clara looked up, a flicker of hope igniting within her. "You really think that would work?" "Why not? You've already touched so many lives. People will want to help you keep this place alive. Let us show them how much stitches of hope means to everyone." Clara felt a warmth in her chest. Maybe he was right. "I'll consider it. I don't want to ask for help, but perhaps it is time." With renewed determination, Clara and James launched a crowdfunding campaign, sharing Clara's story and the impact Stitches of Hope had on its community. Clara showcased the garments she created, intertwining each piece with personal narratives of the individuals who inspired her designs. "Every stitch tells a story," she proclaimed in the video they produced. "This shop is a sanctuary for dreams and resilience. I believe that together we can mend not just fabric, but lives." The response was overwhelming. People from the city and beyond rallied, sharing the campaign and donating. Clara watched as the numbers climbed, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. A community had reached beyond the boundaries of her shop and into the hearts of strangers. Weeks later, as Clara hosted a community workshop, she felt the love surrounding her. "Thank you all for being here," she began, looking at the sea of smiling faces. She noticed familiar faces like Mia's and Lily's, but also new ones arriving, eager to share their stories. "Today, I want to do something different. I want each of you to bring an item of clothing that holds a memory, something that speaks to you," Clara instructed, her heart swelling with excitement. "We will repurpose these items into something new, blending our past with our future." As participants began to share their pieces, the room filled with stories of love, loss, and dreams that had been put on hold. Clara listened, her heart opening wider with each new revelation. Mia, now more confident, held up an old dress her grandmother had worn during her younger years. "It is beautiful, but it is too big for me now," she said, her face lit up with hope. "Can we turn it into something I can wear?" "Absolutely," Clara replied, her voice full of enthusiasm. we'll create a new dress that honors your grandmother while reflecting who you are today. As Clara worked alongside the participants, she felt lightness in her heart. The challenges she faced began to dissipate in the warmth of shared creativity. They cut, sewed, and laughed, celebrating the stories behind each piece. Later that evening, as they wrapped up, Clara took a moment to reflect on her journey. The financial struggle still loomed, but her heart was fuller than ever. She turned to the group. "You all have reminded me of the power of connection today. Thank you for being a part of this family." One participant, an older woman named Grace, approached Clara with misty eyes. "You've created a safe space for us, Clara. You've stitched together a community that embraces every part of us, our pains and our joys." Clara's heart swelled with pride. "Together, we can overcome anything," she replied, the words resonating deep within her. As the days turned into weeks, the campaign reached its goal, securing the funds Clara needed to keep Stitches of Hope alive. The support she received allowed her to expand her offerings, including a mentorship program for aspiring designers from the community. With James by her side, they organized events that showcased new talent, creating a ripple effect of inspiration and creativity. Clara felt renewed, the phoenix rising from the ashes, fueled by kindness and resilience. Yet challenges persisted. As the shop grew, her time became more precious, and Clara often found herself overwhelmed with the responsibilities. One evening, after a particularly tiring day, she sat on the shop floor, surrounded by fabric swatches and sketches, her head in her hands. "I can't do this alone," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. James found her there, and without a word, he knelt beside her. "You're not alone, Clara," he said softly. "We're in this together. Let us break it down. What can I help you with?" Clara looked up, meeting his gaze. "I need to find a way to balance everything. I don't want to lose sight of what this shop means to me." "Then let us prioritize," he suggested. "What makes your heart sing the most? Let us focus on those aspects and delegate the rest. You don't have to be everything for everyone." With James's help, Clara began to delegate responsibilities, allowing herself to focus on the creative aspects that sparked her joy. She learned to lean on her community, finding strength in their support and involvement. Months later, as they prepared for another fashion show featuring their new designers, Clara stood backstage again, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. But this time, she wasn't alone. Faces of her community surrounded her. Each designer was a story, a testament to the resilience they had cultivated together. As the lights dimmed and the music began, Clara took a deep breath, stepping forward to greet the audience with a warm smile. "Welcome to Stitches of Hope. Tonight, you'll not only see designs, but the heart and courage of the individuals who created them." As models strutted down the runway wearing pieces that embodied their journeys, Clara felt an unshakable bond with each one. When the final model walked out in a dress made by Mia, the crowd erupted in applause. Clara's heart soared as she watched Mia beam with pride, embodying the powerful transformation she had undergone. After the show, Clara was swarmed with compliments, but her heart was with Mia. "You did it," Clara exclaimed, embracing the young girl. "You were amazing." Mia's cheeks flushed. "I couldn't have done it without you, Clara. Thank you for believing in me." As Clara looked around at the faces of her community, she knew that their collective strength had woven an unbreakable tapestry of love and resilience. Later, as the night faded in, the last of the guests began to filter out. Clara felt the energy in the room still pulsing around her. She stood surrounded by balloons and fabric swatches, her heart overflowing with gratitude. "What a night," she exclaimed to James, who was packing up some of the leftovers from the refreshments table. "Absolutely, you were phenomenal out there," he replied, his eyes sparkling with pride. "The way you connected with the crowd is inspiring, Clara. You're recreating something truly special here." "I never imagined it would grow into this," Clara said, glancing around the shop, still adorned with decorations from the show. She could still hear the echoes of laughter and applause, of stories shared through fabric and design. "It's like a dream come true." "But dreams come with challenges too," James reminded her gently. "You've worked so hard to build this community. Just remember to take care of yourself amidst all this." Clara nodded, but the weight of her fatigue settled deeper in her bones. That night, as she lay in bed, she reflected on the months that had led to this moment, the struggles that had once seemed insurmountable, now woven into the very fabric of Stitches of Hope. It wasn't always easy, she thought. There were days when the shop felt more like a burden than a sanctuary, moments when her doubts crept in. The financial pressure remained a constant companion, looming over her with the threat of failure. But every time she witnessed a transformation like Mia's emergence from uncertainty to confidence, her spirit soared anew. The next morning, Clara awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. Sunlight streamed through her window, illuminating her workspace scattered with sketches and fabric swatches waiting to be brought to life. She brewed a cup of tea while mulling over ideas for a new collection. Inspiration struck, and she grabbed her notebook, sketching furiously, her thoughts racing. "Clara!" James called out suddenly, bursting through the door, causing her to jump in surprise. "I have incredible news." "What is it?" she asked, filled with curiosity. "I just spoke to a local magazine. They want to feature Stitches of Hope in their next issue," he announced, his excitement palpable. Clara's heart raced. "Really? That's amazing, but how did they hear about us?" "The fashion show created quite a buzz," James explained, his smile broadening. "They were impressed by the community aspect and want to highlight how UV helps so many people. They see the potential for a beautiful story." Clara's heart swelled with pride, but her mind flicked to the impending pressure of maintaining this momentum. "That is wonderful, but with the increased attention comes increased responsibility. Can I handle it?" she whispered, uncertainty creeping back into her thoughts. "Of course you can," James encouraged, sensing her trepidation. "You've already built a thriving community. This is just another step, and I'll be right here to help you through it." Clara looked into James's eyes, finding reassurance in his unwavering belief in her. "All right, let us do it," she said, a spark of determination igniting within her. The upcoming weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Clara worked alongside James and the newer designers, creating vibrant pieces that told stories of resilience. Each garment was infused with the essence of the individuals behind them. Mia's dress subtly whispered of courage, while Lily's reflected the hope of new beginnings. One evening, as they were finalizing preparations for the magazine shoot, Clara felt her heart racing. "I can't help but worry about the attention," she confessed to James, her voice tinged with anxiety. "What if the magazine doesn't portray us accurately? What if they miss the heart of what we were doing?" James stepped closer, his demeanor calm and steady. "Whatever they write, they can't capture the essence of Stitches of Hope unless they spend time here. That is the beauty of it. We are not just a shop, we are a community. Let them see that." His words rang true, and Clara felt a moment of calm wash over her. "You were right. It is not about perfection. It is about authenticity. We'll show them what we are all about." As the day of the shoot approached, the shop buzzed with anticipation. The photographer arrived, a vibrant woman named Ella who instantly brought energy into the space. "I can't wait to capture the stories behind these designs," she exclaimed, her camera swinging from her neck like an extension of her spirit. Clara introduced Ella to the designers, who eagerly shared their journeys. Each story was a thread in the larger tapestry, and Clara felt a sense of pride swell within her as she heard their voices echo through the shop. "Remember, this is about your journeys," Clara said, addressing the designers. "Let your passion shine through. Show them what Stitches of Hope means to you." The camera clicked, capturing moments of laughter, focus, and the occasional blunder as they posed in their creations. Clara felt a sense of unity envelop her, a warmth that reminded her why she started this journey. But as the day wore on, Clara felt her nerves escalating again. The weight of expectations loomed like a heavy blanket. What if they didn't showcase the community aspect? What if the article focused solely on fashion and ignored the heart? Just then, Ella approached Clara, sensing her anxiety. "You know, I am deeply moved by what you've created here. It is not just about the clothes. It is about the lives you're retouching. I am going to make sure that is front and center in the article." Clara looked up, her heart filled with gratitude. "Thank you. It means the world to me that you understand." As the shoot concluded, Clara took a moment to breathe, soaking in the vibrant energy of the space. Surrounded by her community, her heart swelled with hope, knowing they were sharing something beautiful together. Days turned into weeks, and the magazine finally hit the stands. Clara held her breath as she flipped through the pages, searching for their feature. When she found it, her heart raced. The article celebrated not just the designs, but the stories woven into each garment, highlighting the transformative power of community. Tears of joy filled her eyes as she read the words. "At the heart of Stitches of Hope lies a sanctuary of dreams, where every stitch is infused with love and resilience, and where every garment tells a unique story of transformation." Clara's hands trembled as she shared the magazine with the designers, family, and friends in a celebratory gathering. Their laughter filled the shop, blending with the sound of scissors snipping fabric and machines humming. "This is just the beginning," Clara proclaimed, raising her glass in a toast. "To every one of you who has contributed to this beautiful tapestry of hope." With glasses clinking together, the atmosphere pulsed with energy, echoing stories of resilience and joy. Clara realized that although challenges still lay ahead, she was no longer alone in facing them. Her community surrounded her like a vibrant quilt, each piece unique yet essential to the whole. But life had a way of testing even the strongest foundations. A few weeks later, Clara received a notice from her landlord. The building was being sold, and the new owners planned to increase the rent significantly. Her heart dropped as she read the words, panic rising within her. Not again, she whispered, the weight of her past struggles crashing down on her. She felt the ground beneath her shake as doubts flooded her mind. What if this is it? What if I can't keep the shop? That night, she sat alone in her dimly lit shop, surrounded by the remnants of her dreams. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she faced the uncertainty looming before her. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mia. Hey Clara, just wanted to say thank you for everything. You've made such a difference in my life. I hope you're okay. Clara felt warmth spread through her heart at the thoughtful message. As she read it again, she realized that her struggles were not just hers alone. The connections she had forged meant they were all in this together. Taking a deep breath, Clara opened her notebook, flipping through the pages filled with sketches and ideas. She began to write down her thoughts, pouring her heart into her words. This shop is about more than just fabric. It is about hope, resilience, and community. With newfound determination, Clara reached out to her community, sharing the news of the impending changes. The response was overwhelming. Messages of support flooded in, each one reaffirming the bond they shared. Let us fight for this place, James urged when Clara shared the news with him. Together, we can advocate for our community. We can reach out to local businesses, create a petition. I don't want to ask for help, Clara said, her voice trembling. Sometimes asking for help is the bravest thing you can do, James replied, his eyes filled with sincerity. This shop means so much to so many people. Let us show them how valuable it is to this community. With James' support, Clara rallied her community. They organized a meeting, inviting everyone affected by the shop to come together. Stories were shared, tears were shed, and laughter echoed through the room as they shared their love for stitches of hope. Clara stood in front of her community, her heart racing with emotion. Together we can make a difference. This isn't just a shop, it is a family. We've reached its start.